Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 8 of Nothing But Stuff, the podcast, which has the audacity, the nerve to say, hey, what do these two white guys think about this shit? As always, I am your host, Lewis, and his contract rolls on for another week. Here he is, he's back again.
Oh, we're still doing that joke, are we? It's not dead yet?
Well, we'll see. I might give you a month-long contract at some point. But
Okay, just keep going. Just keep kicking the horse.
we started this as equals, and I've just abolished that.
Just demoted. The demoted Isaac Harwood here for another rock and roll session.
If you ever need a handle on Twitter or anything, a personal one, the demoted Isaac should be your handle.
That's a good one. Lewis, why don't you start with your recent stuff, because mine is a little bit lengthy, and yeah, you do your thing.
Oh, about the only lengthy thing you've got, mate.
Oh,
yes.
The bar is so low.
Yeah, we're on to penis jokes straight away, and there goes any chance of monetizing this video. But anyway, so mine is, it's not so much something I've done, read, watched, or anything. It's more just something that's fucking annoying me.
You've done this You've done this before with Black Adam, so yeah, go on.
No, that is something that I watched and gave a quick review of. This is just, my fucking God. Today, I had to go onto Facebook. I have to have another separate work-based Facebook now. And oh my God, man, the shit on there. It's just like, have you seen these little tricks to do this or that? And it's just like, what is this utter garbage? It's just like, oh, I'm gonna weld together these two pieces of plastic, and at the end it looks like someone's just snapped it, and it's horrible. And I just don't get it. What is with it? And it's just like, oh, have you seen, and clickbait articles and everything? I just don't understand.
So you're just generally pissy recently. That's kind of your thing. You went online and you were like, this world kind of sucks.
It's just, you know what really grinds my gears?
Yeah, I know, every time.
Kind of situation.
That Family Guy bit has just stuck with me for life. Like, anytime someone's complaining, it's, you know what really grinds my gears? It's just in there.
Yeah, it's more just, I've been really busy this week, haven't had a chance to watch anything or really do that many interesting things, but there you go, that's bugged me. So there's a nice and quick one. In and out.
That's why I cheat and say I did something recently, even though it was years ago. I know the veil is lifted.
We're not authentic. Guys, I apologise, we're not authentic.
Lewis, may I start by asking how much you know about late 1800s, early 1900s American baseball?
I thought you were going to start talking to me about the late golf there, so no idea. Late 1800s baseball. Babe Ruth, is that correct?
I don't think so, but I don't know much about it either. But let me tell you just a little story. I promise this gets to a recent stuff kind of shout-out thing at the end, but I just want to go through this story. Quick whistle-stop tour of a man. Okay, so we'll start like this. The award in baseball is apparently called the Cy Young. It's like the Oscar or the Emmy, that kind of
Oscar
thing. And it's because of an amazing pitcher back in that time period that I just mentioned. Just incredible pitcher. But there was actually a better one at the exact same time. But the problem was he had the IQ of a Jack Russell Terrier. So let me just go through this guy called...
I'm guessing that's like an actual comparison that's been made and not just you being incredibly insulting?
No, I made that bit up, but you'll see why I added that bit on. Okay. So, first of all, his name is George Waddell. He earned the nickname, which no one knows him by George Waddell. It's the Rube. So that starts you off nicely. Right. He was good at pitching because he said his hobby was to throw rocks at birds. Yeah, here we go. So he got into baseball. His pre-game ritual was getting completely hammered while pretending to be a bartender at the local bar. And when he entered the stadium, he wouldn't come through where the players, go to their dugout and stuff. He'd come through the public entrance and go like through the bleachers. Usually late, like the game should have started already. He would grab drinks or hot dogs from crowd members as he went down and just cram them in, and sometimes get into fights with them. He would then change into his baseball gear, whilst running across the pitch. This guy is just a complete fucking idiot. He's not like showing off or anything. This is just how he functions.
I was about to say, are you sure this guy's an idiot, or is he just the absolute biggest legend?
No, it's not grandstanding at all. He's like, we'll get into it. He is actually a legend as well. You'll see. But the problem with changing across the pitch was he liked to go commando, didn't believe in like pants, so he just stripped.
Underpants for anyone across the seas who may be listening.
As he walked across. He would often stop mid-game because he wanted to go fishing. The opposing teams learned... No, dude!
Wait,
you have to hold it in.
I gotta slow you down there. Please tell me he left the stadium to go fishing.
Yeah, no,
and not was just like having an insane moment and just started like...
No, he'd just be like, no, I'm done. I really want to go fishing now, I'm out. But let me carry on, let me please. The opposing teams would learn about this distracted behaviour, and they would bring puppies or just shiny things, because he would just drop his mitt and just go up to them and just like, what was that? He'd just go. The best bit was without fail. So he kind of got used to the puppy thing, maybe got told off by the manager like not to do that anymore, and he stopped. Without fail, though, no one could stop him. If a fire engine drove past the game, he would immediately start chasing it. Just leg it after the firemen, because he loved like going to help them out and like rescuing and putting out the fire. He'd go to help them, but he had to. He just left in the middle of games and ran.
So this guy is just the personification of a golden retriever.
He's Jack Russell Terrier. That's what I'm saying. I'm not just being mean.
Oh, so it wasn't an insult, it was a comparison of who he actually was.
Here's a quick 1 year in his life during his career. 1 year.
Please.
He got married and divorced. He wrestled alligators at the circus to kill time. He shot a friend in the hand by accident. He got bitten by a lion. And he also saved a woman from drowning. So it goes on to find out, because he's like chasing the firemen all the time. Like he's always around these firemen. In his lifetime, people have figured out he saved about 13 lives. But
wow,
yeah. But one of those incidents, he heard someone shouting for help near a river while he was eating, so he jumped in, but he saved a log instead. So
wait, at what point in that whole situation do you see? Oh my god! How did he not realise it was a log?
That's what I mean. He is so dense. Okay, so that's how crazy dumb he is. But so he held the world pitching record for 61 years through one amazing game.
Wow.
He gave away a ball game for that amazing game. Sorry, that 61-year record, that game that he got that in. He gave away the game ball. Everyone knew at the time it was like the most incredible result. He gave away the game ball for a round of drinks. That would be worth like hundreds of thousands. There was one time where he got kicked out of one team. He got kicked out of loads of teams, mostly for drinking. One time he got rehired on the written into the contract that he wouldn't eat crackers in bed, because they had to share beds when they were on tour, and the other teammates were like, no. So how many crackers is this guy eating in bed?
Or was he just eating one really badly?
Or hundreds really badly. So in one instance, he got kicked out of a game, got hired by... kicked out of a team, got hired by another team, and then when that previous team that kicked him out came and played him, he struck out every single one of them. Like, he's so good, but just complete idiot. And it ends on a really heroic note. He died of pneumonia, I didn't write down the age, after spending 13 hours in the water after a dam broke, like pulling people out and just being a general hero. As he died, he said he had no idea how many women he'd married, but more than 10. What a legend. So, why is this recent stuff? Well, I've been listening to a podcast recently where they do like 1 hour stories, and it's two comedians much like us, Lewis. And I think these are lifetime actual professional comedians. It's called The Dollop, with Dave Anthony and Gareth Reynolds. That's the whole title. Kind of takes up my entire like little car screen when it's playing in my car, and it's just the whole thing. Anyway, The Dollop Dave Anthony and Gareth Reynolds. That was one of their episodes, and I thought it was fucking amazing. They've done stuff like ghosts and it's all American history stuff, like George Washington's teeth and stuff like that. It's really fucking funny. Anyway, that is my recent stuff. Worth it, I thought, for the lengthy story. George Waddell, the Rube.
Awesome. Well, that guy is a fucking legend. So, moving swiftly on, Isaac, I believe we have a favourite returning seggy for us, which is quiz stuff. So what's the quiz this week, Isaac?
Oh, well, Swift is one of my many middle names, Lewis. So my quiz, this one, I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but I am going to do it alongside you. We're both going to do this quiz. Okay. It's not the most subtle subject matter, but you may not get the exact the answer, the title out of it. So, Lewis, it's time for quiz stuff. What is your ideal superpower? Multiple choice, super strength, invisibility, super speed, shape shifting, I don't have any powers, flight.
Okay, well, invisibility feels kind of pervy.
Yeah. Shape shifting's like nothing but manipulative, and I kind of vibe that.
Yeah, and it depends, like, what... Like, is it just into people, or can I be like a bench? like, where's the line drawn on that? Like...
I don't think we're going to get intricacies, Lewis. It can be whatever we want. I'm going... Well, no, you go first. This is your quiz.
Okay, say them again quickly.
Super strength, invisibility, super speed, shape shifting, I don't have any powers, flight.
Okay, can I fly faster than I can run?
Sure, mate.
Okay.
Can you fly? You can only fly at a crawling pace.
If you're super strong, people are just going to ask you to help them move. If you can fly, people are just going to throw rocks at you. I'm taking shape-shifting, screw it.
Shape-shifting? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think you'd go for that. I've always vibed a bit of super speed. Goes well with my physique. Yeah. Okay. I'll do this one for you and this one for me. We're going through this together, Lewis. Together. How would your friends describe you? This is a good one. This is a fun one. Funny.
We answer for each other?
Funny, brave, loyal, wise, honest, kind.
I'd hope probably loyal?
You know what? Let's get real for a second. You're a pretty loyal guy.
Yeah.
You're going with loyal?
Yeah, I'd probably say that's the best shout I have at being close to one of them. Yeah.
Okay. Not going with funny on our comedy podcast. Okay, it's not the loyalty podcast.
Oh no, we're shit off the air, as it were. So, yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with kind. God, we're so we're so modest about ourselves, aren't we?
The super friends.
All right. How would you get your superpowers? They were given to me. I trained for years. A freak accident. I was born with them.
Okay.
They were given to me. I trained for years. A freak accident. I was born with them.
I would say my shape-shifting powers come completely by accident. I was walking past, I don't know, through a laboratory for some reason.
As you do.
And bam! Dr. Manhattan style. I'm like, oh no! And,
just walked into a chamber and the door shut behind you.
Yeah, pretty much.
With your love on the other side.
I'm just careless.
Just careless. Where the fuck are you in the lab? My lab, probably. Fuck you doing in there, Lewis? I didn't invite you. I didn't sign you into reception.
Saving the mice? I don't know.
Saving the mice. They're freaks, man. I wouldn't save them. They will fuck up the general population.
Good.
Well, we're making mutants. Let's see. I'm going to go with I was born with them, because maybe it's Maybelline. Lewis.
Oh, God. Yes.
What is your biggest weakness? I daydream all the time. I tend to overreact. I push myself too much. I'm flaky. I can be overly sensitive. I'm always late.
Oh, I don't like being late, so that's definitely.
I was about to say, if you pick I'm always late, it's just like we wouldn't have got this far in our friendship.
No. I would probably say I'm overly sensitive. Giant wet blanket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm none of these because I have no weakness. Let's see.
Hair.
I'm gonna go with the same. We're both just sensitive boys. Sensitive
We
boys.
are.
Yeah. Welcome to the Sensitive Podcast. Come and listen to Sensitive Boys.
The Quiet Time with Isaac.
What would you risk your life for? For family? For love? For justice? I wouldn't risk it for anything. I'm going for that one. We kind of try and do these a little bit truthfully, don't we?
Yeah.
What would you risk your life for? I'm gonna... It's for family, isn't it? For me.
Go through them again real quick.
For family, love, justice, nothing.
Well, I don't have kids yet, so I'll probably say for love, as in my wife.
Whoa, you gonna do your mum like that? You gonna do her over?
That sounds weird.
Yeah, I know, that's why I said it.
That sounds weird.
That's why I said it.
I'd have to protect her over others at this point.
Gotta go with your gut reaction.
Yeah.
Who would you have as a sidekick? My oldest friend. Oh, thanks, Lewis. My significant
That's
other.
not me.
My
I'm not your oldest friend.
No, this is your quiz. Who would you have as a sidekick? My oldest friend, my significant other, anyone who's up to the job. No one. I go it alone. I have multiple sidekicks. My pet. I like the idea of multiple sidekicks. Like, I don't give a fuck, just someone come along.
Just run through them like you have a rotor.
They just get murdered all the time. They weren't born with the powers like me, my super speed.
God. So...
Oldest friend.
It wouldn't be multiple.
Significant other.
I'll go with the oldest friend.
Oldest friend. Ah, sweet.
Because otherwise you're just going to be like, oh,
I want to go, please. Last one, Lewis. Why would you be a superhero? I didn't choose the hero life. It chose me. For revenge. For the fame. For those who can't help themselves.
Well, it happened to me by accident. We've established that. So, it can't really be because I was just like, oh, I must save people.
What have we established? That we're only in it for the money and the fame?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd use my powers to, like, sneak into places, like go into concerts, not changing rooms.
I would make my life very comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
I would make my life very comfortable, and then I kind of take it day to day. Like, see what's going on, see how my mood is. Superheroes would be very bad in the real world.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, and if I could shapeshift, I'd be like, I don't know, just fucking with people that I don't like. Like, if someone pissed me off, I'd walk into a bank and, like, slap the teller and run off. So people, like, the police chase after them and stuff rather than me.
You could do so much more. All you have to do is shapeshift your fingers and just leave fingerprints everywhere. Like, you could do a lot with shapeshifting. It's a cool one.
And if I see an old man walking through the park, I can be like, God, he needs a seat, and turn into a bench.
You brought it back full circle.
Poor old man.
Lewis, why would you be a superhero? I didn't choose the hero life. It chose me. Revenge, fame, for those who can't help themselves. I'm going... No, you go. You go.
Yeah, probably for... I don't know, actually. I wouldn't want the fame. I'd do it for, like, money, but not fame.
Okay.
It's like a half answer. We'll choose that one, because it's the closest.
Superheroes generally don't get, like, paid well. Because...
Yeah, I know, but if I can shapeshift, I can just walk into a bank and be like, I'm this billionaire, I want $100,000.
£100,000? Push the boat out, Mr. Billionaire.
Well, you don't want to be too bloody.
That's like toilet paper money.
Yeah.
What are you choosing? The fame?
Well, yeah, but for the money, not the fame.
Okay, for glory. Why would I be a super... I didn't choose the hero life, it chose me. I think that's me in a nutshell. Oh, Lewis, what do you think was the question of this quiz?
Is it what kind of burrito I am?
What kind of burrito or barista?
Burrito, baby. I've no idea.
Not even. Come on, you could guess a little closer.
I mean, I'm guessing it would be superhero related.
Yeah, well done.
I mean, they're all superhero questions. So, what superhero am I? I'm presuming.
You're a bit dull tonight. A knife that needs sharpening.
Okay, well, let's go for something like. What kind of sportsman am I?
Okay, you're failing at this. So I'm gonna save you from this little hole that you're digging yourself. This quiz will reveal which DC superhero you are. So quite specific. And
Okay.
well, let me read you the description of yourself before I give you the title.
Okay.
You're
let's go for it.
you're kind, funny, and super charming. There's pretty much nothing you can't do! Exclamation mark. I know you love exclamation marks. It would
I do.
be easy for people to envy your greatness, but no one can resist your lovable personality, Superman.
Okay.
Yeah?
Because that kind of, I guess, fits with the answers other than the fame and money.
Yeah, I know. I always think it's a BuzzFeed quiz, isn't it? The answer's just fucking random generator. Do you want to hear mine?
Yeah. Oh, please.
If you looked up brave in the dictionary, there'd be a picture of you. I didn't pick brave, so I don't know why that's there. If you see
weird.
something wrong, you're the first to speak up. Whatever the situation, that's a lie, I will run away. Your fearlessness sometimes lands you in sticky situations. Well, that part's true. But everyone
Ooh.
knows that you've got the natural courage to do anything. Like a comedy podcast with your bud, Wonder Woman.
Oh, good. So I can't wait for all the fanfic of us appearing with just our heads superimposed into them. God knows
Lewis,
doing what.
I'm fucking begging for fanfic. No one has sent us fanfic yet. It's going to be fucking disgusting, but I'm super game for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it will not be allowed to be posted on any social media, but just my private collection.
Or on Patreon.
All right.
I thought that was a good quiz. Let's move. Let's do a seggy, Lewis.
A new seggy.
A new seggy.
As I've decided to name them. Next seggy.
We forgot to mention how much we're going to stuff this butt, but you know, catchphrases take time, workshopping.
That's your catchphrase. Catchphrases? That's your catchphrase.
It's our catchphrase.
No, I have to remind you that it's your catchphrase.
That's like the opposite of a catchphrase. Say the thing, dude.
Dude, you forgot to stuff your butt.
Oh shit, sorry man.
That's going to be my catchphrase.
Do you think you could stuff it for me? Anyway. So.
Oh, this will be the one where we get cancelled. I can just feel it.
Lewis, do you want to introduce it? And don't be a naysayer.
No. Okay, so this is a film that I was rather split on. Welcome to Movie Stuff, everyone, where we reviewed 2016's film, Split. Now, we're obviously going to go through this a little bit, but I want to make this known before we start here. I'd never seen this film before. It's not really a memed film either. Like, there was a bit of hype around it at the time, but it's not like...
It disappeared.
I think if you don't... Yes. Like most of M Night Shyamalan's work after his first two films.
He does some fucking amazing ones, and then
he hasn't done one
trash
for ages.
Yeah. It's in there somewhere. He's just going to spew out the crap.
So,
anyway.
Yeah. So, Split. 2016. M Night Shyamalan. As I said, a film which I am slightly torn on, because I think there are some very good bits, and I think there is some very, very dry bits.
Okay, well, I'm intrigued. Okay, I also want to say up front, before we get into this, for the audience, I had seen this movie before. I completely forgot about the underlying narrative about child abuse, so apologies about that. So we're obviously going to talk about that. If we joke about it, we don't believe it. It's a joke.
It's horrible.
We're not going to. Yeah, there's a line, and hopefully we don't cross it. And it's pretty grim in this movie.
I'm going to make a stand and say we are against child abuse.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I can get up there on that platform with you. But it's in the movie.
Pretty sure.
We watched the movie. It's a comedy podcast. Get fucking over it. I mean, yeah.
And we're British as well. It's called satire.
Exactly.
Anyway,
so, Split, a.k.a. the James McAvoy show. I mean, you can't say that dude isn't fucking talented.
No. The absolute highlight and only reason that I think this film is going into the realm of being a good movie for me
just good.
Is his performance.
Just good?
Which is his performance, which is exceptional.
Amazing.
I want to make that known. But the first... Okay, so... Some of the writing... This film kicks off with some terrible, terrible writing because the interaction between the blonde girl... She just needs to... Blonde girl, white bra, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah, we don't need to write down all the characters, but I don't give a fuck about. Yeah, she's actually in White Lotus, if anyone's watched that. Season 2. That's a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first interaction with her dad is appalling. It's like what someone thinks teenagers speak like with their cool parents these days, and it's dreadful. Dreadful.
I kind of get what you're saying, but it's also like... She's a fucking D-list character. I mean, there's not many characters because James McAvoy is most of them. But who really cares? She's just a prop, really. We don't care about either of those girls. Neither of them are good actresses. At that time, she's really good in White Lotus season 2.
No, I mean it's a breakout sort of film.
Yeah.
But
anyway, they're conveying quickly. She's a teenager and she doesn't like this girl that she invited to her party because she was in the class and didn't want to leave her out. But she's a bit of a hangs at the edge, doesn't want to talk to people, kind of reclusive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Casey is the girl, by the way.
Casey, yes. That's a name that we do need to
the main girl, not the blonde girl. Yeah, the dark-haired girl.
So, first question about this film arises quite quickly. So, before we actually see James McAvoy, he's got so many names throughout this film. The person, like the body when it was born, as it were, is called Kevin.
Yep.
Why doesn't he knock out Casey as soon as he gets in the car as well? He turns around, sprays the other ones in the face, and he's in the form of Dennis at this point.
He is. Dennis the clean freak.
Yeah, and why doesn't he knock her out? Like, why? Like, genuine question of just like, why wouldn't you do all three?
So it kind of jumps forward in the narrative for me to give you my opinion on explaining it. Is she's damaged or broken too, right? And the beast...
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
Or does he? Because the beast is in him. And I'm talking subconsciously. Is it a kind of a very gentle nod foreshadowing that he does know her, intimately, or like that on that subconscious level? That's my opinion on what that is, but I do understand what you're saying because it confused me too.
The only thing I could possibly think is that she was never meant to be taken. She was never meant... It was the other two girls because they're pure and blah, 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 and he'd been following them. She hasn't been followed, and so he was kind of like completely oblivious to her. That's the only reasoning that I could think of, which actually made any sense to me. But this follows straight onto my...
But do you like my opinion on that? Do you think it makes sense?
I don't... No, because he doesn't know her. He hasn't seen her. Like, he can't... What's he got a magical sense of sensing her?
Well, that's the... Again, we'll be kind of explaining it a bit more later, but that's what the beast is, extra sensory, extraordinary, and the beast is in Kevin. It is one person, right? I'm saying...
But he hasn't emerged
I think it's quite a cerebral... I think it's a cerebral thing of just, like, resonating for a moment, and that's why it's a bit of a delay. He does knock her out in a minute, essentially. Your next note.
My next note is just McAvoy is great in this film before he even says a word.
Yeah. I said he's so chilling, especially because the film does well for a long time to like keep you guessing, and that tension with him in it is just he keeps that string round real tight.
Yeah.
And because, the next one is the scene in the therapist's room. I wrote her name down somewhere, Dr. Fletcher, where he's, for people who haven't gathered yet, James McAvoy is split personality. And so he's playing a personality that is impersonating another personality. So
Yes.
it's James McAvoy, the person, is pretending to be Dennis. Yeah, pretending to be Kevin.
Pretending to be Kevin.
Who's pretending to be Dennis, who's pretending to be Barry.
Well, he's not pretending to be Dennis. He has a mental condition.
James McAvoy is pretending to be... Yeah.
The
acting level of the layers, exactly.
Yeah.
And so he can play a character whilst bringing in traits from another character, and I just think that's masterful. So he's, again, we're going to say this a lot, he's fucking amazing in this film.
Yeah, but then I immediately get to the point about this film, which is why don't think there's ever a reason which I'll watch it again. It was so predictable. I thought this film was incredibly predictable. My next note is, I'm guessing the weird girl is an abuse victim.
Yeah.
And then my line after that, well, two after that, is, feel like he's going to kill the therapist. Like, I just pegged like half of the ending within the first 10-15 minutes, and that's what it just felt to me a lot like it was just like, oh, that's going to happen, and then the reveals were just nothing. The reveals felt like nothing.
The signposting was too obvious. So it's the girl who hangs about in the background, doesn't want to talk to people, and then I think the next clue is she says pee on yourself when one of the girls is about to be taken to I mean, it's implied that she's about to be raped. And that's a classic way to repel a rapist, I guess. Poor fucking women. That's horrid, obviously. But when I first watched it, I remember being like, oh, is she like in on it? Because it kind of fed into that bit when he doesn't knock her out in the car. I was like, oh, she knows specifically this is a thing. And then later I realised that's just a common tactic. But yeah, the signposts were very obvious. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It didn't ruin it for me. But I think, looking into it and hearing your comments, maybe I had rose-tinted goggles or glasses, I think is the phrase. Goggles. I'm a scientist! With James McAvoy. Maybe I'm just waiting for James McAvoy every time, and then I forget everything else when he whisks me away with that incredible acting.
Yeah, even when you're introduced to Casey's uncle when she's younger, it's just like, I'm just watching it just like, that guy's a creep.
Yeah, and boy is he.
Like, they just picked a big, sort of husky, overly friendly uncle type. It's just like,
we're alone in the woods.
Yeah. They should have made it something like a kindly aunt, because that you wouldn't have expected if she was the one abusing her.
I don't want to get into what shoulds and coulds and that kind of thing.
I get that, but it's an M Night Shyamalan film as well. Shyamalan. So you kind of, if you know who's directed the film, you are looking for what's going to be the twist, what's going to be the big reveal and everything. And I didn't even particularly do that with this film. I think I watched it hungover. So I was just lying there, just watching it, sort of thing, just trying to let it wash over me. But still, I was just like, there's every reveal. I don't want to just go on and on about this, say the same point again, but yeah.
I think watching things hungover is always a bad idea, because if you're in a negative headspace, you tend to not enjoy things as much. Just saying. But let's carry on. I love Hedwig, the 9-year-old, James McAvoy.
Yes.
His comic relief is brilliant when he's just like giving a little bit of exposition and then he goes, I have blue socks. Or I just ate a hot dog, which reminded me.
Literally, Canada.
I wrote down Canada hot dog story. Let me start it. You jump in. So me and Lewis are in Canada. We were traveling. We were 19. And we were with my godmother, I think, and they were like putting us up and stuff, and we had a nice day with them, and then it was like, you know what, they're going to bed, let's go out and see a little bit of Montreal. That's what it was. And we got 4 minutes away around the corner. You want to take over?
No, it wasn't even. No, it wasn't even that.
It was literally across the street.
They were. No. We were literally standing there. They were going back to their hotel to then go back down to Boston where they were staying, and we literally said, "Okay, goodbye." Then turned 180 degrees, said, "What are we going to do now?" And there was just a homeless guy who just went blah blah and threw up into a bin. Looked up to us and just went, I just ate a load of hot dogs. Want to hang out?
Want to buy some weed? Yeah, okay, let's go. What a great... oh, yeah, you're right. It was literally...
The crazy thing is, we hung out with him.
The whole night.
That's the worst bit of the story.
And his weird homeless girlfriend at some point in like a kid's playground.
Yeah. Oh god.
I just ate a lot of hot dogs. Let's go, buddy. You're in.
We just didn't know anyone though. We were just like, this guy seems alright.
This guy knows where to get hot dogs. He's coming with it.
He knows where to get hot dogs.
Anyway, yeah. I love that we both wrote that down. I knew you'd write it down as well.
Yeah. Next line is, teaching an 8-year-old girl to shoot is so horribly American.
You just said teaching an 8-year-old ghost.
Okay, re-record that line?
No, you're not. That's staying in there.
Yeah, no.
What we're going to re-record is you saying Shyamalan.
No, we're not. No, because I'm in control of the edit, you forget. Teaching an 8-year-old girl to shoot and enunciating everything properly. How awfully American. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, that ruined that line.
I didn't. Whatever. It was part of the story, and that does happen. I think quite often. Yeah, so more of the child abuse stuff going on in the film. I mean, you don't really see it for a while, like you say. It's one of the reveals, but it's pretty obviously signposted. My next note was, damn, James McAvoy / Kevin must be so fucking good at changing clothes. He just
pretty quick.
He just goes around the corner for a second and he's in a full dress and boots.
Quick change artist.
Yeah. That was just a throwaway comment. I thought it was great. My next one was the trope of unlocking the brain. So in Split, the trope is he has this extreme schizophrenia disorder, and that can be one of his alters, I guess, has diabetes. One of them has a nut allergy, that kind of thing, and that's he's changing his body chemistry.
And the others don't.
He's changing his body chemistry with his mind. So what if the premise is, what if he could become the ultimate creature, essentially completely in control of every cell of his body? So I wrote the trope of unlocking the brain is it's done quite a lot. Limitless is a good one. I liked it. A bit budget, but it's nice.
But that's kind of that's chemically doing it with pills.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm calling it a trope. I'm not saying it's.
Yeah. No. I get you. But that's kind of, I don't know. The brain's pretty powerful.
Lucy with Scarlett Johansson is another one, which was okay. Stupid ending. But I always think that trope's interesting. I like seeing what they can do with it.
But my problem with it was that the therapist lady,
Dr. Fletcher,
that's
terrible actress. Oh my god! But
terrible actress. Genuinely the most mad person in this film, in my opinion. Genuinely, what she does as well is so unscientific to the point where it kind of angers me, because she's just like, what if he could be a superhero? What if he could do this? It's just like, do you not understand that you work in a science-based field?
Where's the papers?
Where you get evidence. She's just wildly plucking at theories out of the air, just like, oh, what if he could be not diabetic? What if he could do this? What if he could do that? And it's just like, come on, why don't you get more than one patient? And why don't you, she's got more than one patient.
Do you want to see her presenting evidence at a seminar, though? It doesn't make for great viewing.
No, but what I do want her to do is not, go to present to a symposium and just go with the wildest ideas. Just she wants to be have her name written down in books for the rest of her life, and she does stupid stuff. Like when she goes to his place later on, on her own, and it's just maybe call the police.
She knew something was wrong. You just received 120 emails in a row from the guy who is asking for help.
And literally, this is jumping to later on in the film, but the little sequence of events she goes, you're Dennis. You're the one that they had to convict because he was getting young girls to take off their clothes and dance for you. And then, oh, yeah, that's definitely Dennis. Look how he walked through that trash later. I better just pop round to his place.
Something's wrong. I'll go and have a look.
Yeah, it's just Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I know a therapist knows someone quite well and all that sort of thing, but come off it.
Yeah, I guess it's the confidence thing, and
it's the insanity.
You could play it off as that. I did write therapist Dr. Fletcher is probably the weakest link in the movie. There's a couple of bits kind of just throwaway that I thought was funny. The dance scene with Hedwig, the 9-year-old James McAvoy, when he's
Lincoln.
Yeah.
No, Garrett, you finish your remark, and then I've got one that links into that.
Okay, yeah, no, it's just imagine being in that situation, like a captive girl who's like tricked him into letting him out. I let her out, and do you want to see my room? And like it just does this insane like 90s hardcore dance.
Yep, I mean, all kudos to James McAvoy. You can't say that enough throughout this film, but at the same time, his favourite artist being Kanye West when he's 9 years old. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
You know, just with how fucking batshit that guy's gone.
I like it when I think Dennis, when things start unraveling, and I think Dennis catches Casey, or Dennis comes back when Hedwig is losing his mind, and Casey's trying to get through she gets the radio, she gets the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And Dennis is like, let's have a serious discussion. And then like goes to the fridge and gets out like a single serving of fruit salad wrapped in cling film. He's like, here you go. I know he's a clean freak and OCD and stuff, but it's just like, it's the single serving of fruit salad. Who has fruit salad hanging around?
But that's the thing as well that I had about that was they go on about how he's OCD, but they also make a point that he's the one who's like sort of a paedophilic pervert sort of thing.
Kinda, yeah.
So they say he got convicted for making young girls take off their clothes and dance.
It's not his entire personality, he's just got like a horrid compulsion.
But that's the thing, like, is it that he does make girls take off their clothes and dance, or is it like it kind of shows it in the film where they get like a spot of food on them and he can't stand it, so he's like, take off your top.
Yeah, so he was convicted for it, but yeah.
Yes.
But he does grab that chick.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I think he was about to rape her.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's 6 of 1 half.
Why would he grab her if it was just about stained clothing? I think. I
want to wash you.
I think he finally had a moment and he took it.
Yeah,
so possibly. I see what you're saying. Like, was it a misunderstanding on the side of the court?
Yeah. Basically, like, what side of that is true?
I see what you're saying. I think he's just a nasty perv.
Okay. My next point here is sort of like key to the whole. Another point where I think this film falls down, right?
Okay.
Casey, she's sitting there at the party right at the start, doesn't really want to be involved. Says at one point, I literally get in trouble, so they send me to detention, so I'm on my own, right?
Okay.
Why did she go to the party at the start of the film?
Why are you even here?
And don't tell me, because she wanted to get out of the house and be away from her uncle who's a perv. Go to the park.
Yeah, fuck off somewhere else. I think I'm going to go be mopey at this party.
Like, can you not just turn around and be like, no, thank you, I appreciate the offer, maybe next time.
Yeah.
And then just go and do something on your own? Like, why go to the party to literally just do nothing? And then she gets taught. I mean, and it doesn't even make the situation better because she doesn't have any effect on the therapist coming there. She doesn't save the other 2 girls who are there. So she just turns up and has this horrible experience for no good. Like, she doesn't save anyone. Good point.
I think there's a really deep message in here. I want to get to it when we get to the end. Because I'm a very deep guy. You just saw the superhero quiz. I'm a very deep guy. Fuck justice. That is going on the catchphrase list that we keep, of course.
We're being quite slow going through this. So
it's also my wrestler name. Sorry, I had to throw that in.
Deep Justice.
Fuck justice.
I think the single best acting moment in this film is the on-screen shift where Dennis drops the guise of being Barry, and you can literally see him go from Barry's personality. Like, because every other switch is off camera, this is the one that you do see. And just watching him, how he, over the course of 5-10 seconds, just shifts his face, how he's sitting, and his demeanour is excellent.
Acting. It's like fucking prime.
The gif of Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Acting. Fucking prime acting. Why? Okay, so we're moving on. I thought, just another throwaway on. It must be nice having your alter ego buying you gifts until you see your bank account and 22 other personalities and buying presents for each other.
Great point. Another problem which I have with this film, though, too many. Because you literally have 4 that they focus on.
8.
And one of... Okay, no, you have the Beast, you have Dennis. 8.
I think it's the videos. There's like a little bit when she goes through some video journals on the thing. But
that's the point.
Yeah.
Say there's 5 or 6 and focus on them more rather than just like being there just like, oh, what are the other personalities going to be up to? I bet they're fucking weird.
I don't think that didn't bother me.
It adds intrigue, but at the same time, there's no payoff, so why bother?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool, but I see what you're saying. A little bit pointless. But I also don't see the necessity because the horde is what Dennis,
controlling
Patricia, and Hedwig call themselves. They basically worship the beast, which is like the ultimate form, and they're trying to bring him forth by essentially sacrificing young girls. Don't know the logic there, but that's it. And
he comes forth before the sacrificing, but never mind.
Yeah. Why? What? I didn't understand. He's like, okay, it's time for the beast to come out. I need to go really far away to a deserted train carriage for this. It just like goes off. It's like, it's beast time! And then legs it, and turns into the beast in a train really far away, and then runs back, and you've got this tense scene of him running, and it's just like, why didn't you just do it in your base? Let's do it in your hideout.
Because they needed the girl to have time to spend almost all the time that he's away opening the door.
Yeah, exactly.
And at which point, then when she gets out, everyone's already dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, well done. Just in the nick of time.
Again, we'll get to that.
Another point here, which really fucking bugged me. You know, when one of the girls puts like a coat hanger down through the door and then unlocks the lock with it. Number 1, there's no way that you can bend it after you get it through the door. I don't like that. Number 2, that must be the most well-lubricated bolt lock in the absolute world, where you can just tap it with a hanger and it opens. How convenient. He also didn't turn it down like you see him do on every single other fucking lock that he touches throughout the film. That was really good. And then when the beast comes, the wall climbing looks terrible. Looks genuine. That was just some awful wire work right there.
I don't think it was terrible. I did write, it's just showing off. It's fucking pointless.
Yeah, it's so pointless.
It was really, I don't think it looked awful. I think what they were trying to show is... So yeah, again, he's in ultimate form. Complete control of his cells. So he turns into like huge, beefy James McAvoy. Basically like grunting and has like a really like dramatic preacher voice. Which I kind of vibe. But yeah, he like kind of Spider-Man's up the wall. And I guess it's kind of like showing that he's like developed... Well, he's got super strength so he can kind of like hold himself out. And all he needs is his fingertips to just like hold himself completely rigid and climb up the wall. I didn't think it was that bad.
Dumb.
Fine, Lewis. You're a hangover. Like, this is stupid and I hate it.
No, it isn't. But it just... When... Again... Everything's predictable. They literally... If they had done that without earlier on in the film saying, this beast that can apparently climb walls, and then you just know he's going to turn into the beast and climb up a wall later. Don't show us. Don't say that earlier on in the film. So when he's going to climb the wall, you go, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, but I disagree, because they've said it, and you're like, that's fucking bullshit. That's ridiculous. It's a myth kind of thing. And then he fucking does it, and it's like, holy shit. Like it's
but if they just pulled that out of the bag out of nowhere, you would have been like, "What the fuck?"
I get what you're saying is blatant, but it's foreshadowing, and I think it's the disbelief that gets disproved.
I don't know. Okay, my next point here is why don't they try saying Kevin's full name more times than once? It works the first time, and then the Horde basically goes, "Oh, that's not going to work again." Yeah, but is it? Because why would you believe them? I'd just literally be yelling it in his face just to try it out again.
Yeah, so for the audience who didn't
Kevin!
watch it, if you said his full name, it summons Kevin, the original abused boy, to the foreground.
These personalities, he was basically abused as a child, and his mum used to yell at him when he's angry by saying his full name, like most of us are when we're little, when you're in trouble, all that sort of thing. And Dennis was the personality that came out to keep everything perfectly neat and tidy, because then the mum wouldn't get angry. And Hedwig was the child that got lost from all the abuse. And I think Patricia's meant to almost be like his mother?
I think the comforting version of a mother.
Yes, what he wanted his mother to be.
Yeah. So, and again, I like that. I like how they did that.
But I think it was kind of meant to be the mum, because when she cuts the sandwich and it isn't perfectly straight, and she slams down the knife and all this sort of thing.
Or maybe that's just a bit of it coming through. It could be a miss.
Maybe. So, I do like the reasoning. It's not just, this guy went crazy and we're not giving you any reason why. That there was a thought process behind it. But I want to know why each and every of the 23 personalities came out. Why did Barry come out? He's a fashion designer. And maybe that was maybe that's what he wanted to be as a kid, but there's no explanation on that one.
So I thought when the Beast is chasing Casey down the corridor in the bunker and knocking out the lights and stuff was pretty goddamn terrifying, I thought. Big dude climbing along the ceiling.
Not bad.
The lights going over, Becca was
one of the better
Becca
bits.
sat down and was like, I'm going to bed, and I was like, all right, I'm watching a movie, and she sat down when I started, and she watched the whole thing with me, and she thought that was pretty scary, and I agreed. So that's fucking brilliant. So there's that bit when the girl Casey gets the walkie-talkie and makes contact with someone. The person,
yes,
of
my next notes.
The person thinks it's like a colleague playing a joke for way too long. There's a couple of times where it's like, oh, come on, guys, knock it off. But he just keeps going. It's like, dude, there's seriously a girl in trouble. How are you not getting this now? Because
genuinely as well, his job, security guard.
Yeah.
There's all over the news, there is the name of the girls who are missing, and she says, this is my name, I am trapped, someone's going to kill me, and he doesn't think, maybe just call the police and say, I just had this report.
And when it's revealed that it was him, the security guy,
the look on his face.
His face is just, I fucked up.
Oh, fuck.
He's so mortified. Oh, that's brilliant. So I've got 3 more points. Mm-hmm. Were you a fan of Unbreakable, the film?
It's a long, long time since I've seen it, but better than this.
So that's part of it, because that was made in 2000, so this is 2016. So back in day, before streaming services and stuff like that, you had DVDs, and you had a certain amount of DVDs, and that's all you could watch, because that's what you had. So
let me guess, Isaac, you had Unbreakable.
I had Unbreakable, so I would have been 10. Or when it came to DVD a year later, let's say 12, probably too young.
Parenting.
Yeah. So I watched it over and over and over. I loved it. Fucking loved it. So when Split came out, and you get to the end and you see Bruce Willis and he mentions Mr. Glass, that was fucking mind-blowing, because there was no promotional material suggesting that this was part of Unbreakable. It's been 16 years. And when you see that again and it was just out of the blue, I was just like, holy fucking shit. It's a shame.
That's interesting. Because my opinion was, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, I know. But for me, I thought it was amazing. Do you have any more notes before I do my last 2?
Yeah, I've got 1 or 2 more. Okay, number 1. Why the fuck does no one ever go into the basement of this zoo? They've got so much room, they've got so much storage down there. There's literally gunshots going off. There are people screaming.
It's huge.
I know it's underground. Yeah, it's like a fuck. And to be fair, underground under zoos, huge complexes. I can buy the size of it, but I can't buy that. No one ever has a reason to go down there to the point where Hedwig has his own bedroom.
I'm pretty sure it's mentioned early by Hedwig, actually, that Dennis has shored it up against people that would listen from the outside.
Yes,
he says something.
But it's a public zoo. Not that the public should be down there, but why isn't maintenance going down there? Why is no one using it?
I think.
Do they know he's living down there?
Nitpicking tiny little things.
I'm not nitpicking. It's reviewing a film, for fuck's sake. And my last and final note for this film was, I feel like I predicted everything. Nothing was surprising. However, I think it was a very well shot film. The cinematography was very, very good. And James McAvoy was an absolute... He stole the show. And the actress who played Casey was very, very good as well, I thought.
Anya Taylor-Joy, she's good.
Yeah. She's really good in The Northman, if you've seen that.
I haven't yet. I want to.
Like a creepy white witch sort of thing.
Yeah, I've seen. She's the Queen's Gambit main character as well, which is really good.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of the rest of this film, I thought the storyline was too predictable. It sort of hung a lantern on not hung a lantern, that it wasn't trying to do that, but it was signposting everything along the way. So was it? That's why I'm kind of torn on it. But James McAvoy, if a worse actor had been the lead, it would have been shit.
So my last comments are. I'll do the deeper one before the funnier one. So when the Beast catches up to Casey, like the climax, he bends the bars of a cage, essentially, where she's hiding in, because she thinks he wouldn't be able to get in there, but guess what? The Beast can bend that shit. He sees her scarring, her self-harm or harm done to her.
100%.
Yeah,
100% self-harm.
And realizes she is broken. And the whole point is the Beast is so amazing in the Horde's mind is if you are broken, you can unleash this power kind of thing. If the pure, the ones who aren't damaged, need to die. I don't know why, but that's their kind of philosophy.
The two girls in it were meant to be these, like, that's why he was following them, because they're, like, pure and good at school and popular. Like, they're too good, and so they're terrible.
So his line is, you are broken, we are more evolved, or the broken are more evolved. Which I thought, I mean, without being on the nose about it, like, in the context of the film, I thought it was kind of a nice message. It's the basic, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, essentially. But the ending and what you said, like her kind of impact, nothing really happens. She doesn't save anyone, blah, blah, blah. But the impact is at the end when she's in the cop car and the cop is like, your uncle, the one who abused her, is coming to collect you. Because basically her dad dies and she gets adopted by the last person she'd probably want to adopt her.
The rapist.
The look that she gives is fight. It's I'm strong, and it's
she saved herself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like that's nice. That is the but we only had to have at least 3 people die for it. Which
that's the deeper level, and that's why I like this movie. I just thought that was a really nice way of wrapping it up.
She's found some inner strength, and I appreciate that. That is a good point. I will definitely concede that. However, my points are still valid.
I mean, the handle on the door not turning, you can get fucked. And my last one, the credits are jokes, because the first 8 characters are just James McAvoy. There's just this long list and his name next to it. Like, legend. I'm just going to go ahead and say I think it's a sloppy-ass film and I loved it.
This is borderline for me, in all honesty. It is good enough to watch, but I think it's a one and done for me. I don't... Like, after we finish talking about this film today, I probably won't think about it again for a long, long time.
You want to wrap it up with Glass? Watch the thought. It's not great. It's okay.
I've heard Glass, and what's the other one? Is Glass the final one?
Yeah. It's Unbreakable, Split, Glass.
And then Glass is the one where all 3 of them are in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
I've heard it. I've heard Glass is terrible.
It's watchable, in my opinion. But
good. Yeah, let's watch something watchable.
Well, I'm not going to fucking suggest it. But maybe it's because I loved Unbreakable and I'm a bit of a fanboy, and then Split I just thought was incredible. Okay. We should move on, really. That was a sloppy one for me. I had a good sloppy one, this.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's slop, but not quite sloppy.
Okay.
I'm adding in a new level.
Sloppy is the worst way to describe something good, but it works for certain things, like blowjobs and burgers.
That's all we really want.
Blowjobs and burgers at the same time. The sloppier, the better.
Oh, sorry, love, I didn't mean to drip that on your head. Or fella, sorry.
Fair enough. RPG stuff.
2023. RPG stuff. Yes.
RPG stuff. We skipped last week. It's my turn to GM the sci-fi one with Leslie Gleeble-Glop.
Leslie Gleeble-Glop.
So, Leslie has friends now. He's got his demonic scorpion droid called Matthew,
Yep.
He's got a new friend who is the yet to be unnamed horny octopus who is...
He's yet to be unnamed.
Yet to be named. Also unnamed. You see what I did there? My mind just pushed them together. I'm very clever. I'm too clever. Sometimes it just goes too fast up there.
Are you sure you didn't play baseball in the 1800s?
Firetruck! Yes. The horny octopus who's overtaken a sack of skin, a person, and has pledged allegiance to Leslie. So, Leslie, lizard man, smuggler, bit of a coward. We'll zoom in. You're flying in your driving. Would you fly a spaceship?
Is it fly a spaceship?
Is it flying? I thought flying would need some downforce.
Drive is more of a 2D
sailing
situation.
his spaceship through the vast oceans of the void. That's where our camera is pointed at your wooden prawn-shaped ship. And
the calamari.
I want you to take over some of this description as you pull up to the kind of orbit pull up, sail up, cruise on over to your home world. I
holler at that girl.
You come out of hyperspace, however we travel in this universe, and ahead of you is that big spherical planet.
Triangular.
Keep it at least a little bit grounded. What kind of colour palette are we looking at? What's this planet?
Oh, let's go with sort of pinky oceans, dazzling scapes with blue trees across them, clouds of like deep indigo surrounding them. The bloody pyramid-shaped planet. No, it's a sphere.
Okay.
And
any ice? What's the kind of climate you could have a look at? Like, let's delve. We're getting closer. We're entering atmosphere. Going through clouds and such. Indigo clouds. Oh, lovely. What's the next kind of layer down that we see ahead of the cockpit view?
So we go sort of down to the treetop level, zipping across the spines. They're all spiny trees, not leafy. Looking down at that yellow sulphury soil.
Mm-hmm. We're going full like kind of classic lizard environment on this planet.
Yeah,
like a bit hot, bit dry. Perfect.
No, I'm going to say more jungly. It's like the whole the way that the planet spins. Let's say it doesn't really have seasons. It spins too fast. The days are like 6 hours long, and it's on like a tilted spin where it just constantly goes around, so it sort of warms the whole planet pretty equally. Apart from one pole, which is ice. I don't know why.
Just one sphere. No one goes there. Stay away from the
No,
ice.
that's where the albinos live.
The mystery ice. Okay. So, you're returning home with your latest cargo. What was it? Who is it for? And let's say we've landed. So who have you dropped this off to? We're not going to role play them, but I want you to kind of just a quick recap. Was the client happy with the delivery, or did something go wrong? Who was it, and what was it?
So it was a deliverer of bao buns. They weren't entirely satisfied because there wasn't enough sachets of soy sauce.
Oh, that's criminal.
Yeah,
that's the smuggler's life. You know, you're getting contraband. It's not going to be perfect.
I know. And what he doesn't know, but he did figure out, it's light soy sauce rather than dark soy sauce.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I know.
Why do they even sell it?
I know, filth. Some of us are actually trying to slim down, Isaac.
Do you know how dangerous salt is? A kid died. Let's laugh at dead kids. Great.
Oh, I mean, what else are you going to do?
Mission complete. Remember to like and subscribe. I'm out. No, I'm joking.
Look forward next week to our new guest.
So you're done. It's time to kind of unwind. Your job's done. You got paid. Maybe a little bit off the asking price, just because it's that light soy sauce. Fuck.
No, he didn't catch the light soy sauce.
Oh,
He thought it was dark. It's light soy sauce in dark soy sauce packages.
Gotcha. That's even worse. You want to go. I'm just going to railroad you with a small decision. You're going to see a friend or family, someone close to you, someone that you want to go and unwind with. Keith. Is this family or friend?
Brother Keith.
Brother. Wonderful. Perfect.
I'm not related to him. He's a priest.
Brilliant. The priest of the Lizard Man Church, which I definitely need to hear about in another seggy. Another seggy, baby. We're doing that. We're
Little
starting
seg?
that. We're
Cheeky
coining
little
that.
seg?
Yeah, cheeky seg. Cheeky butt stuff seg. Well, sorry, what? It works so well. So how many segments of your butt stuff do you like? Sorry.
Normally, if we cough when we're recording this, I edit it out, but I feel like that was going to have to be left in because I only cough because I laugh so much.
I'm ruining the immersion. You're going to see Brother Keith, the pastor, the priest, the preacher.
The bishop.
You often hang out with this guy. You go to, I guess, the church? Is that where you meet him? You can meet him wherever you want.
Oh God! Yes, let's just say House of Faith. We don't want to
House of
upset.
Faith.
We're not political. We're not political around here. We're just about butts.
I'm gonna not override. I'm gonna add on. This House of Faith is a little remote. It's out of the way. There's not much people around. That's what remote means. Just thought I'd give that little definition.
They also changed the channel.
But outside. Oh no! What does the place of worship look like? What's the kind of style? You know, like churches have the spire, and I guess
So this
synagogues
is
have
more
a
of
thing.
a.
I don't know.
Islam has that brick house in the middle of that city.
Yeah, you know what I mean. What is the kind of style of these things?
So it's a big rock, which has like a moat around it.
You just lie on the rock.
I'm a lizard. No, it's a big sort of straight rock which has like a moat around it,
Okay.
and everyone sort of lies back in the moat, and then like almost like flat on your back, and then the Brother Keith stands on the top of the rock and sort of revolves and does his sermons. It's got a lazy Susan on top, which he stands on, which just. What you don't see is the rock is hollowed out, and deep underground there's one guy just twisting it really slowly throughout the sermon. Just has a little wheel he's turning, little crank handle.
Okay. You see the rock. Where does the brother like hang out? Where do you go to hang out? There must be some kind of building, some kind of like quarters. You don't just like go for a drink or do space.
Now we burrow.
We burrow.
You
go underground. Is it a new burrow every time, or is this like his domain burrow?
No. We have like a main room burrow, and then you sort of burrow bedrooms off of it. But being a man of not the cloth, they don't wear cloth. Being a man of the scale, they're the only ones who walk around naked. That's what we're saying.
I love this law.
Being a man of the scale,
Perfect.
he has a big flat rock he lies on under the sun. He's going back to the basics.
Yeah, but he's got a burrow.
The real. No, he's just on the rock.
No, he's not on the rock. Sorry, I'm trying to. I've got to get you into my.
He doesn't have a burrow.
He doesn't have a burrow, right? But there is a burrow. There is.
I mean, I have a burrow. Everyone has their own burrows, apart from the men of the scale.
So you've come here to hang out with the priest
on his rock,
and you just go and sit on the rock.
Yeah. Okay. Just has a box which he keeps his stuff in.
Okay, fine. I will adapt to your change in my railroad. Alright, you go up onto the rock. And he's completely fucking naked. He's just lying down, starfished, staring at the sky. What do you do?
Good morning there, Keith. Seems to be a lovely day to be lying on your rock.
Oh, mate. Why did you come here? You shouldn't have come. Run! Run, Leslie, run! And
I just turn around and sprint. Alright then.
You fucking sprint and you go thunk into something like an invisible barrier, and coming out of phase, I'm gonna say, is like a huge guy. You run to someone's chest, essentially, a big lizard, properly like armored scales and like spines coming down his back, and he just like looks down you with those beady eyes and just doesn't do much but grunt. And he kind of like pushes you to turn you around. He's braced, ready for you to like try and make a runner again, but he hasn't like apprehended you. You see, coming out of phase, standing around Keith, are two other gentlemen, lizardmen, and they've got a laser pistol pointed down at Keith, who wasn't just lying on the rock. He has been kind of sequestered, shall we say, by these people who you very easily recognise to be a notorious local gang.
Of chameleons.
Okay. That's what one of my next questions was. Who are these local gang? This is the gang leader here. Who are they, and why are they so scary? Like, what's the kind of word on the street? Why is everyone scared of this guy? Why is he in power? And who is he?
So I'm gonna go with they're almost like a sub-lizard people race.
Okay.
Who can change the colour of their skin to blend into environments.
Hence the phasing. Perfect.
Hence the phasing. And his name, let's go with Dingleberry McAnimus. I don't know why.
That's nice and easy to remember, thanks.
Dingleberry, everyone.
Mechanicus.
Or he likes to be known as the Dingle.
The Dingle. Terrifying.
But let's say as well, he was like an older kid when we went to school, and he was a bully, and now he's got like
the gang are called the Dingleberries.
No, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like the berry. That's why he's the Dingle.
But who are the rest of the gang? What do they call themselves? I like the Dingleberries.
The Dinglers.
The Dinglers. You're ruining it. Fine, I did cut you off. I'm sorry. Why is he so scary?
Because he rallied all the chameleons, sub people into basically turning it into a life of crime, and now we put up electric fences, but bastards have burrowed under it.
Not great in a burrowing nation. Do they have fences? Okay, fine.
No, that's the point. That's the point. They never burrowed. We burrowed to protect ourselves. They could just change colour in trees.
Ooh.
Bloody tree bastards!
Natural selection at play.
There's a lot of racial tension in between these two different races.
I'm sensing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, does that mean they speak in different voices, or is it still poor South African, New Zealand, Australian, whatever?
It's more of like it's instead of being like South African, it's more like specific Johannesburg.
Oh, great, thanks. That's easy. I'll just do specific Johannesburg.
Oh god! Please don't stop listening to us, lovely people in Africa.
So they phase in. Your brother, it's not your brother. I keep forgetting. Brother Keith has a gun pointed at his head.
Brother Keith,
and the gang leader Dingle, who's not holding the gun. Obviously, that's one of his goons, a skinnier, more slick-looking guy. So we've got the big one and the skinny one, classic mobster.
Let's call him John Travolta.
Sure. No one can. They don't need names. I'm not going to roleplay them much. And
Travolta.
The Dingle, he's wearing nothing because he's a chameleon, I guess, and can't wear anything because otherwise.
Yeah, that's blasphemous as well.
Oh god, yeah, right. He's standing there. I think he's got a special hat that does phase with him. He's made of, I don't know, one of his family members or something. That's why it's so scary. And it's,
mutilation.
It's like a trilby kind of. I'm thinking he's got a cigar somehow phased with him, or you just didn't notice it floating there.
Oh god, he's an incel.
and he's like, "All right, mate. Didn't think I'd see you back here for much longer. What have you brought me?"
Oh god, it's the Dingle.
That's right.
I'm very sorry if I've done anything to offend you, Brother Keith and I. Brother Keith and I. We would. We don't want any harm. We don't want any harm. Could you just please put some trousers on? You and your comrades, and we can actually do what you like. Doesn't bother me. I just want to. If you want this area for yourself, I'll just grab Brother Keith, and we'll just go burrow down into my hole.
Oh, you always going burrowing in holes, you bloody bastard. Alright, well look, I've got your brother Keith here, and I ain't letting him go. Not until you do what I've been asking you to do for so many cycles.
So many cycles.
I know, I said that weird, right? I'm trying to not do the exact same voice as you. Confuse people. I'm trying to drop it down a bit, put a little edge on it. Do, a more specific Johannesburg.
My name's Brother Keith.
And I think I'd like you on the payroll, Leslie. Everyone knows about your wondrous smuggling abilities, and it's time I made use of them.
Well, I'm not too... I'm always open for business, as you know. Perhaps I could do a trade where you would release a Brother Keith. He's actually my cousin, and yes, I could do a little smuggling for you. I've always got something hidden somewhere.
The problem with Leslie is because he's such a coward. There's not much rolling because he's not trying to do anything. It's just like, yeah, sure. Like, not trying to escape, grab a weapon. He's just like going along with it. So I guess it's just Lewis and Isaac chatting to each other.
We're just playing make believe.
Not much game involved.
No, okay, all right.
No.
So no. What he's going to do though is say, but you need to release Brother Keith first. Let's go for some trying to persuade him or something.
And what exactly did you have in mind in return for this trade?
Whatever you want me to smuggle, I can pop it into my ship or pop it into my egg sack, and I'll sneak it right by anyone that you wanted to snuck by. I very, very rarely get caught. Only like the last 4 sort of smuggling runs I've been on, I only got caught on one of them. So, top quality stuff, mate.
You can roll to see what you get.
2d6. And that's 7.
Mixed success.
I got a 1 and a 6.
Look, mate. I hear you. You want your cousin brother back. And I'm glad you're thinking about coming on board, but look, I can't just give you... You see, my leverage is your cousin brother, right here. And you agreeing to smuggle isn't much to offer right now. So, I'll let your friend go, but you've got to do something for me first. Take off your clothes.
I thought... can you not see the big rock over there? That's, can't be naked in the sight of that.
Brother.
Not in front of me brother and cousin.
Brother Keith is like, no! You can't, don't blaspheme, don't give in! The heretics! And they shut him up with a quick kick to the scaly cheek.
But perhaps we could come to a compromise? Perhaps I could...
this is the compromise!
Perhaps I could cover myself in a thick layer of mud.
We're on a rock, mate. I'm not letting you go down there to find the mud. That's crazy talk. Anyway, I know where the best mud is and you're not having any.
I thought you didn't like to burrow.
I want you to take off your clothes.
Well, I don't know about this. Brother Keith, would you mind shielding your eyes for me, please?
I just can't watch anyway, mate. Of course.
And he sort of, with very shaky hands, starts putting his hand towards his trousers. But then, whah! In the quick flashing moment, he dips his hand into his egg sack and just pulls out like a load of firecrackers, which they're sort of like what's the fucking name for like the glow sticks?
Okay.
So like you break them. And then they go incredibly bright though, so he pulls it out and sort of like crushes a bunch in his hand and tries to throw them in their faces. and tries to dive off of the rock to run away.
Okay, let's try it.
Sorry, Brother Keith!
Let's try the blinding stuff. Let's make that roll. Let's see what happens, how that goes. These fail.
That's an 11.
Oh my god, I really wanted you to
Keith
fail.
has never done anything correct right.
Okay.
He's done it.
Is that the first
Yes.
success? That's your first
That
success.
is. I just said Brother Keith's never done anything right. Fucking Leslie!
So it happens exactly how you say. The blinding flash gets everyone except you because you're prepared, obviously. You dive off. How do you dive? Swan dive? Is it belly flop? Feet first? Down into the moat?
So he sort of launches forward like a diver at the start of a swimming race. And as he's doing it, he sort of unzips the sides of his jacket, and the little wings flying lizards have come shooting out.
Nice.
And he glides
Nice.
across the open plain.
Okay, as you're gliding away from your, like, the one person you are going to see, the first person you see when you return home, your cousin brother, Keith. As you're flying away, I know it's probably quite hard to hear, but you're a lizard. You've got super hearing, because that's what lizards do. I'm a biologist, don't look it up. And you hear, "Oh, bloody Leslie! I'll get you one day! You'll never see your friend again!" And you hear a and coming from the rock.
Oh no! They just
And
executed him.
you fly off teary-eyed, or kind of like happy that you got away. What's your reaction here as you fly off into the dust, and you're going to escape, and we're going to end it there?
So, what he's going to do as he's sort of soaring away is mainly fear, but once he's looked back, because these chameleon types don't have the ability to fly like us normal people, like us normal people. So he's relieved at first, but then very, very sad that cousin brother Keith is gone, and he just says under his breath, wait until you meet my new friends, mate. I'll bloody be back. I'll bloody be back. As he goes to wipe a tear, and then sort of loses altitude, so then sticks his arms out.
Yeah, I can hear the score, the swelling strings, and the tint of revenge.
Just like the Jurassic Park music played on like really badly on a flute. Like,
all right, everyone. So this has been Nothing But Stuff.
Yes. Pretty much overrunning today, so we're going to have to wrap it up quick.
Yeah, it's fine. Remember to like, subscribe, review wherever you got this podcast. That really helps. Word of mouth, obviously,
Isaac.
as well.
Isaac,
What?
you're forgetting.
What?
What do you always forget every session?
I'm going through the checklist. Just fucking, I'm a professional.
This should be in a better order.
No.
We don't ask people to like and subscribe before telling them the movie.
No, it's fine. You taper it out with the next bit, because then they have to wait for it and they have to listen to this shit. Like, subscribe, review wherever you get this podcast. Really helps. Word of mouth, great. Please tell your friends and all of your family members, especially the older ones. Send us an email, nothingbutstuff@gmail.com. Obviously. Same thing with Patreon, patreon.com/nothingbutstuff. Please just give us as much money as you can possibly afford. I don't care if you have to eat food or feed children. And yeah, Lewis, I believe you've got the next movie for us. Can you give me the title and the year?
I haven't checked the year.
Why don't you tell me what it is, and I'll get you.
Okay, well, I had something else planned for this week, but then last week we recorded a Steven Seagal film, and I just had so much fun I had to pick another one.
Oh, for fuck's sake, okay.
Don't tell me that you didn't have a ball of a time watching.
It took up the entire podcast. Let's go.
Yes,
What is
it
it?
was amazing. So this week we're going to be watching Steven Seagal's hit film, Submerged. A film where he's like the world's best mercenary, and a film which, okay, Submerged. Sounds like there'll be, lengthy portions of this on a submarine. Apparently there's about 15 minutes on a submarine.
Chris Cody, the world's best mercenary, obviously, is freed from prison, but there's a catch. Cody must use his lethal weapons and fighting skills to stop a group of terrorists who have overtaken a nuclear sub. Made in 2005. 3.7 on IMDb. I'm sure it'll be sloppy as hell. I can't wait for that. Please watch it before the episode. It makes a lot more sense because we're not very good at explaining all the plot points because that takes too long and it's a little bit boring. So that's great. Let's sign it off. Lewis, I believe you had a sign off for us.
Yes, okay, so just one last time. Not one last time. So last episode we did Contemplate stuff, where I posed the question of, what happens if the toys in Toy Story die? Are they just played with as corpses? I know that's been keeping you awake every night,
It
Isaac.
really has.
We're returning to Pixar with another Contemplate stuff. The cars in Cars. Are there, like, brains inside of those things? Are they fleshy? Like, are they made of metal? Like, I'm sure if I actually watched them, then they're probably made of metal. But
Stop
what's
contemplating
inside?
it for them.
What's inside the car?
Short and
Is it
sweet,
a brain?
Lewis.
Is it a brain?
Do they have
Is it like
butts to stuff? Okay,
Is there like a computer in there? Is it brains? I don't know.
That's enough.
Let us know what you think in the comments and email us at nothingbutstuff.
Oh wait.
Right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Okay. I'd hope. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, good. No. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh, yeah. Wait.